Okay, we look at Arsenal at home to Blackburn. This is a 1 PM kick-off on Saturday in the Premier League. Talk about the Gunners to begin with. Arsene Wenger said after the 0-0 draw at Bolton last night, he said every game is now a cup final. They shouldn't let it get to that stage, really, should they? I mean, they've stopped the rot in terms of losing games. They lost 3 in a row in the Premier League, as I say, drew at Bolton, but it's just not good enough.
It's not good enough, no. You can say they've stopped the rot, but it's still 4 games without a win. And if you go 4 games without a win at the top of the table, then you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be on the back foot. And like you say, it's come to the point where they can't afford to drop points anymore. They need to win every single game, and they're running out of time. If they don't go in the Champions League this year, you don't know where they'll end up.
Because there's been no investment again in January. I mean, people know that that's Wenger's policy. He's not going to spend big. But as an Arsenal fan, you're sitting there and you're thinking, obviously they've got this massive stadium that's sold out all the time. Financially, they're sound. Would it really hurt to just make a big signing, get some investment, get something in the squad? I don't understand.
No, well, I mean, to be fair to Arsenal, none of the big teams invested heavily in January. But I think Arsenal are an exception because I think
they don't even have to invest heavily. Just sign someone.
Well, I think obviously because Wenger's got such a reputation for youth policy and bringing youth players through, and when he's sport big, look at players like Francis Jeffers going back a few years, and Andre Chardin, and players like that. They've not really succeeded. So maybe he's sort of had his fingers burnt a little bit. Whatever it is, they don't invest big, and now Jack Wilshere's out for even longer.
Just about to mention Jack Wilshere, he's out now probably for the whole season. So
yeah, well,
that's a big blow.
I mean. He's been missing for so long. He's such a creative hub for them. I think Aaron Ramsey's shown the glimpses that he's got promises in, but he's been in and out of games.
I kind of think if Ramsey and Wilshere are in there together and Arteta, that's sort of looking a bit better.
That's a creative hub, yeah. But now there is a big blow for him, and I say they don't know how long he'll be out for. So.
Okay, talk about Blackburn. Scrappy defeat at home to Newcastle last night. They're in the relegation battle right to the very end now, aren't they? Really, that's a certainty. But they have given themselves a chance with some decent enough results over the last few weeks. And for example, they drew at Liverpool and won at Manchester United. So going to Arsenal, is this another game if the pressure's off and they might get something?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, if you look back at those space of maybe a month or two, we were talking about all the pressure on Steve Keane, and they've done a good job of relieving that pressure and maybe giving themselves a chance of getting out of the relegation zone. And like I say, look, it's a tough one because you can say they go there with no pressure, but they need to pick up points to keep pace with their rivals. So yeah, they can sort of go on the back of the defeats against the bigger teams before, and maybe they can hope to get something from it.
Just wanted very quickly, Keith Andrews, who's left Blackburn to go to West Brom, he's made a comment on the move saying that Blackburn's a very different place to be around now, and one he was pleased to get away from. It's quite interesting, that, isn't it?
Well, that's a damning indictment upon a club. I mean, I remember reading some quotes from Chris Sandon before because he wanted to move, obviously, didn't he?
Might be similar reasons.
Yeah, and he was like, we will promise this, and then they'll promise Ronaldinho, apparently, sort of account for that one, which is ridiculous. And all these big names signed, but nothing's happened. I think there's a lot of disillusioned players there, so it's going to be tough for them.
Okay, we'll go for a prediction. Arsenal at home to Blackburn. I think Arsenal will get their first win in a few games in this one. I think they'll win 3-1. 3-1 home win for me.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an Arsenal win again. I'm going to go for a 2-0 home win.